What comes to mind when you think about Germany? Well, some of the most luxurious and reliable car brands start appearing. Among them is Volkswagen, one of the most respected German automobile brands that allowed Germany's industrial rise back in the 1930s, making Germany revive its economy after the First World War. The idea behind Volkswagen was Adolf Hitler's plan to have a people's car, a car everyone could afford. Since then, Volkswagen has only risen, becoming the very definition of Germany's identity. However, now, this German brand is facing a disastrous decline, to the level that its factories are being shut down and sold. And China does not want to miss out on this opportunity. There are reports that Chinese investors are buying Volkswagen's struggling factories. But what does China gain from all this? Something we cannot yet see. In this video, let's know about it. What is happening in Germany and throughout Europe with industries is not a new phenomenon. Due to the changing geopolitical conditions, especially after Russia cut its gas supply to Europe, things began to shift, in a way Europe did not expect. In this context, Germany, considered the manufacturing hub of Europe, was deeply affected. It's because all industries and factories in Germany were made relying on an unhindered supply of cheap gas from Russia. But now, as this cheap natural gas is gone, German companies are facing the brunt, including famous multinational corporations like Volkswagen. However, Volkswagen is not just a company, but a representation of Germany's industrial might and national identity. It helped transform the nation into an economic powerhouse. Founded in 1937, the company was instrumental in driving Germany's economic miracle in the mid-20th century. Its vehicles, from the iconic Beetle to the globally popular Golf, became household names representing more than just automobiles. They showcased the pinnacle of German precision, reliability, and engineering excellence. Hence, Volkswagen was not merely a company, but German pride. That's because Volkswagen directly contributed to the economy of the country. The company provided tens of thousands of jobs within Germany and across the globe, stabilizing the German economy during recessions and crises. Its global expansion through acquisitions of high-end brands like Audi, Porsche, and Lamborghini demonstrated a strategic vision that allowed Volkswagen to sit comfortably atop the automotive industry. Fast forward to today, and Volkswagen is facing a deadly decline, mainly due to the global automotive industry undergoing seismic shifts. That's because of the new wave of electric vehicles and sustainability mandates disrupting long-standing business models. It was in 2024 that Germany was shocked that Volkswagen was struggling. A 1.4% drop in global deliveries, combined with a 41.7% revenue decline in the third quarter from $5.3 billion to $3 billion, and a 60% drop in profits, showed Volkswagen was not immune to the global shifts. Volkswagen's most critical market, China, which once accounted for a significant share of its global sales, is transforming. Chinese consumers are now favoring domestic EV manufacturers like BYD and NIO, whose innovative, cost-effective models are making legacy automakers like Volkswagen appear outdated. That's why, in 2024, a 10% decline in Volkswagen was witnessed in China. The Chinese government's strong push for local EV dominance, paired with the rapid scaling of domestic production capacity, has marginalized foreign brands. For Volkswagen, this isn't just a market shift. It's a full-blown existential threat in what was once its most dependable growth region. But even though Chinese buyers are not interested in buying Volkswagen cars, Chinese investors are far more interested in buying Volkswagen factories. That's because as Chinese manufacturers have curtailed Volkswagen's influence in their home market, they are now positioning themselves as saviors of Germany's falling automobile industry. You see, acquiring underutilized German factories is a calculated move that serves multiple objectives. On the surface, these acquisitions help preserve jobs in Germany and give struggling factories a new lease on life. However, the underlying motivations are far more ambitious. By purchasing German factories, Chinese automakers effectively bypass the stringent EU tariffs, on imported Chinese EVs, which exceed 45%. These tariffs were imposed in response to allegations of unfair subsidies in the Chinese EV sector. By producing vehicles within Germany, Chinese automakers can bypass these trade barriers entirely, while appealing to European consumers who prefer locally made products. This strategy not only enables Chinese brands like BYD, Leapmotor, and Chery to price their vehicles competitively, but also positions them as legitimate players in Europe's high-quality automotive ecosystem. Acquiring German factories also gives Chinese automakers access to a highly skilled workforce, advanced engineering practices, and an ecosystem that has long been synonymous with automotive excellence. For decades, Germany has set the benchmark for vehicle manufacturing, with its rigorous standards and innovative techniques shaping the global industry. By entering this system, Chinese automakers gain an invaluable opportunity to enhance their own capabilities while reshaping perceptions of Chinese manufacturing. Therefore, this isn't merely about producing cars, but about challenging traditional industry leaders on their home turf and redefining global opinion around quality and innovation. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. For Volkswagen, however, these developments highlight the vulnerabilities of its current position. The once mighty symbol of German industrial strength now finds itself at the mercy of shifting global dynamics. While partnerships with Chinese automakers or the sale of underutilized factories may provide short-term relief, they also raise uncomfortable questions about dependency and sovereignty. If Chinese companies dominate production in Germany, will Volkswagen, and by extension Germany, lose its ability to dictate terms in the global automotive market? Perhaps that's the hard reality Germany's automobile manufacturers have to accept. As of now, there seem to be two choices for German car manufacturers. Either they can surrender before China, accepting to collaborate by allowing China to buy their factories, or they can face China's growing competition, despite high tariffs, because Chinese automobile manufacturers have an entire state at their back. As for Volkswagen, allowing Chinese investors to acquire factories offers a much-needed financial lifeline for struggling facilities and an alternative to closures that could devastate local economies. However, it also means selling something that has remained a German cultural pride, more than an economic support. Therefore, the idea of selling such a cultural and industrial institution to Chinese investors is therefore not merely a business decision. Rather, it's a flashpoint that could ignite heated debates about national pride, security, and the future of Germany's economic independence. Despite these concerns, Volkswagen's options appear increasingly constrained. The German government has made it clear that Volkswagen must shoulder most of its challenges alone, with little likelihood of receiving the kind of robust financial support that China can offer. This leaves Volkswagen in a precarious position. With few viable alternatives, the decision ultimately lies in the hands of the company's leadership, and the scales may tilt toward accepting Chinese offers. And this gives China an inevitable success. If Chinese automakers acquire Volkswagen factories and begin producing electric vehicles in Europe, they could bypass hefty European Union tariffs on Chinese imports, which exceed 45%. These tariffs, intended to protect European manufacturers from subsidized Chinese competition, would become irrelevant as Chinese companies establish a local production base. This would not only make Chinese EVs more affordable for European consumers, but also allow Chinese brands to integrate themselves into the European market as locally manufactured, high-quality alternatives. Furthermore, China's focus on providing consumers with affordable EVs offers it a supreme leverage in Europe to win loyalty. Europe's decision to impose high tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles clearly prioritizes protecting multinational corporations and legacy automakers over consumer interests. Chinese EVs are more affordable, innovative, and feature-rich, making them an appealing choice for European buyers. However, these tariffs artificially inflate prices, limiting consumer access and propping up European automakers struggling to compete in a rapidly evolving market. And European consumers are increasingly aware of this. They recognize that Chinese EVs offer better value than many European brands, which are relying on restrictions rather than innovation to maintain market share. Therefore, despite the tariffs, demand for Chinese EVs continues to grow, giving China leverage in the market. If European brands fail to adapt, they risk losing consumer trust and market dominance, while Chinese automakers cement their position as leaders in affordability and innovation. However, blocking Chinese acquisitions is no simple solution either. If the German government intervenes to prevent the sale of Volkswagen factories, it would need to provide financial support to keep those facilities operational. This sets a dangerous precedent, where the government could be compelled to bail out other struggling industries, creating a cycle of dependency and draining public resources. Such an approach risks turning Germany's once proud industrial assets into financial burdens, preserved not for their competitiveness, but for their symbolic value. If these acquisitions proceed, they could mark a watershed moment in global trade and industrial dynamics. Chinese automakers would strengthen their dominance in EV production, while signaling a shift in Europe's economic alignment. For Germany, the sale of Volkswagen factories could be seen as a concession to changing global realities, where emerging powers like China increasingly shape the rules of the game. What do you think? Will Volkswagen factories be sold to China, surrendering before the economic might China possesses? Or do you believe the German government would make efforts to ensure China cannot get its hand on all struggling factories in Germany? In the comments section right below, share your thoughts on whether the German government has the capital to protect failing brands artificially. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on Black Africa, its history, rich arts and culture, and things the world should know about. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.